Thanks for sparing a few moments to have a chat, Mark. We're looking ahead to Fylde playing Worthing this weekend, this Saturday, kick-off 3 o'clock. It's been an interesting and tough start to the National 1 campaign for Fylde. Reflect on it, if you don't mind, and talk about perhaps some of the issues about player selection.
Well, firstly, I mean, we've had results-wise a very good start, obviously, but they've been very hard-fought wins. The two away victories, Albanian and Blackheath on Saturday, were 4 points and 2 points respectively. And to be fair, both games could have gone either way. We were put under pressure all throughout the game against Wharfdale, so very competitive matches, and I expect nothing less on Saturday against Worthing, who will be coming up, and they'll be looking to kick-start their season. So we've got to be very much on our guard and very well prepared for Saturday's game. In terms of you looking at the broader issues, I think it's still far too early to make any judgments, other than probably Doncaster looked like they'd not had a false start. There was a possibility that they might have, like Isha did last year, taken it lightly, but they've hit the ground running. They're going to be tough side. You look at Loughborough Students, they've won 3. But, as I say, there's a lot of teams who haven't played each other yet, so to get any form at all, it's very difficult to say. Selection-wise, I've got the notorious nice headache in the sense that I've got counted up, we've got at least 32, 33 players who I would comfortably play in the first team. We can only ever pick 20 on a match day, and there is big competition for places. And I've got to keep the squad fresh. I've got to keep players fit to play at first team level. So players are playing with the Hawks, or they're resting and doing their own fitness on Saturdays. But it is frustrating for some players. I know that every rugby player wants to play every week. But I've just got to balance it out, and that is one of the key areas that I've got to look at on a weekly basis. And as we get into the season, the attritional rate in this league is well known and well documented. I mean, up to press, we've already had injuries to Evan Stewart and Ben Rath at the weekend, so we've got to keep people fresh and at the game speed where they can, and gain intensity where they can come in should there be injuries or otherwise. So, summarising, early days in the league, but I've been very, very pleased with A, the performance of the players, and B, the attitude of everybody at training. And on Saturday, you look at the Hawks game of the week, and they're a very good win against Wilmslow, so there's a lot of talent about at the club.
On that theme, I can't think of many better people at this level to talk about spotting players, young players, and seeing the potential that they have. You must be in a very good position to recognise talent and to know whether rugby players are going to make it at this level, National 1 and above, are born or are they made?
A bit of both, really. The key thing is with young players, and a lot of coaches throw them in. I'm the other way. I try and nurture them to a situation whereby I feel confident that they can perform and consistently perform at this level and above.
You could and have been accused, I guess, of being rather conservative in that respect.
Well, I would take that as a compliment, because if young players have no experience, that's the nature of the beast. So you have to try and build experience through training, through giving them game time here, game time there, through making them understand what it takes to become a first team player. There are so many facets to being competitive in whatever position that you play in this league and higher, that you have to go through a process. You can't just be dropped into it. I could put a young player in, particularly in the backs, and he may score a hat-trick the first game, but in the second game may drop the ball 3 times or be out of position. Then there comes a confidence issue, my confidence in him, his confidence in himself, and more importantly his teammates' confidence in him. What I do is I will bring the young player into the squad and he will train with the senior players on the Tuesday, on the Thursday. He may continue to play in the Hawks team for an extended period of time. He may be on the bench for an extended period of time, maybe only getting a certain amount of games. And then when I feel that he is ready to make that step up, then I gradually integrate him into the side, and there are a lot of examples of that happening. The 3 that jump to mind are Ben Rath, Ben Vernon, Danny Mayer, and now Tom Burtonwood. Now they are all young, talented players who've come through either our system, Lancashire system, but nonetheless they've gone through a process, and Cameron Thompson being another case in point. I'm hoping the same will happen with young Tom Webb. So there is a system I've got. It's not a defined system, it is my way of doing things, and that is built on, as you say, years of experience being a development officer, working with young players at Sale, working with young players with the academy, the Northwest Academy through Sale, and looking at how these players come on. So I think that Fylde is a very good place for young players. We don't throw them in at the deep end. It's more a nurturing process, and I think that in the long run they do benefit from that, even though they are frustrated so on a week-to-week basis.
I mean, it does require patience on their behalf, and of course you must ask that of them, mustn't you? Demand
patience, but not only patience. They have got to be hungry for it, and and this is a key factor, they've got to realise the responsibility of playing in Fylde first team at that level, because you have to be well above the rank and file of a player. You're not an elite player by any stretch of imagination. I mean, you've got to get up to international level before you can start talking using the word elite. But you've got to be a very, very good rugby player to play at National 1.
It would be remiss of us to pass this little chat without reference to Brendan Hanovan, one of the most able Fylde players in the last 20 to 30 years. He sadly died last week. His funeral is this coming Thursday. You've played against him, I understand. Can you just reflect just briefly on Brendan as a player and as a man?
Well, Brendan, I think you've got to say that he's been one of the all-time greats of Fylde Rugby Club. I think if you were doing an all-time 15 of Fylde, Brendan, and in a group of fantastic wingers to select from, Brendan would be right up there. I think he was a unique type of rugby player. I think that he would have excelled in the modern game. He was a threat. He had pace. He read the game exceptionally well. And he was a Fylde captain, so he was a leader. He played representative rugby, obviously, for Lancashire, for British Police, and I think Irish Exiles. And whenever I played against him, I'd look at the programme and think, well, I'm going to have my work cut out this afternoon to, cope with his pace. And it was the Fylde team of years gone by. I've tried to get back to that running style that they were famous for here at the Woodlands, and Brendan typified that Fylde approach to the game.
As a man?
As a man, a fantastic bloke. I wouldn't say I was a close friend of his because we obviously were at different clubs, but I've known him down the years, and he's a quality individual, and he will be sadly missed by everybody down at the club, and we send condolences to his family and friends, and it'll be a very, very sad day on
Thursday, and we will hopefully, the players have bought into this and they understand, and we'll hopefully celebrate what he would have wanted from a rugby match and a rugby performance by Fylde this Saturday against Worthing at home.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. Thank you.